Hello everyone, my name is Clantus and welcome to the clan. So without further ado, let's get into this video. But before we get into the video, please do me a favor by smashing the like button, because guys, last night we were this close to getting to 1,000 likes. Please, let's get to the 1,000 likes, guys, so that we can revive whatever was kind of like dying on the channel, and also getting more members of the clan to come and join. I want to welcome everybody that is new to this channel and say to you, I hope you came here with your two IQs, because you're going to rub them together and you are going to spark your own opinions about what's going on in the North Gauteng High Court at the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Speaking of which, let's go to the North Gauteng High Court and what's going on there? Can somebody please explain to me what exactly are we being subjected to? You know, because a criminal case in anywhere in the world, especially in a constitutional democracy, it is that of public interest. Though some of you who don't understand these concepts, that's your own fault for not educating yourself about criminal cases. The public interest is us, and therefore we are going to make commentaries, we're going to make opinions, we will speculate, not because we are experts, simply because we are the members of the public, and this affects us directly, because it could happen to absolutely any of us. We could be the victims of crime, or we could be victims of the state smearing cases that we have never committed in our lives before, like the 5 men that stand accused of killing Senzo Meyiwa, when in fact there are 7 people that were with Senzo Meyiwa on the 26th of October 2014, and they are not understand. And we keep hearing one of their names keep getting dropped. And you're asking yourself a question, since Gininda's testimony in October, was it October, November, shouldn't this individual should have been arrested already, railed in what you call this magistrate's court, and possibly by now her case will be transferred to the High Court to join as accused number 6. And now that the name also came back again today by the state, why are we not hearing that she's arrested? This doesn't make sense. So why is nobody subpoenaing that Kelly Khumalo comes and testify? Because her name just keeps popping up, and nobody is saying anything about her getting called to the stand. Well, okay, we understand that the state said that they are not going to call Kelly Khumalo on the stand, but at the same time, they're the same people that are throwing her under the bus, and then we must sit on our ears and pretend that we did not hear her name, especially with this so-called cell phone links and connections between herself and accused number 5, and now we are hearing. Okay, wait. Guys, let's start here because I am so confused. Stain. You remember Stain? The cell phone expert who did causes for 2 weeks, came back and as an expert of cell phone analogies? Yeah, that's Stain. He took to the stand. Now, I'm a little bit confused. When he took the stand in July, was he still working for the South African police, or he was already retired? The reason why I'm asking is because now we have a Gideon host who has said something. By the way, yesterday I thought I heard him say something. I thought maybe it's a matter of semantics. If it's not a matter of semantics, it maybe because he's a Afrikaner, and then when he speaks English, probably this is how he's going to sound, like maybe translating Afrikaans in his head into English, like how we would do as well as black people whenever we are trying to make sense of something in English. Sometimes we say it in our head in our home language or mother tongue, and then it directly translates into whatever it translates into. And I thought, no. This man decided that he's going to testify in English, therefore meaning that he's got a good command of the English language, and therefore anything that he has said on the stand, it was not a mistake. So I don't know, while I was sitting, I'm like, did I hear Jose that Stain had to be retired? Had to be retired, meaning that somebody said to him, yo, listen, you gotta retire. Because he used the word had, I think, twice or 3 times. I had to go back to yesterday's clips, and then I had to abstract that part so that we discuss about this had to retire. Because Stain said it twice, and that is why he took over from Stain. And now my question was, what did Stain do or say to Kininda? I'm assuming that he was like, bro, I'm developing a conscience here. What we are doing on the stand is wrong. And so he had to, whatever the reason is that Kininda gets these people on the stand, I still think, in my own opinion, he has something on them. He has something on Cronier. He has something on Gideon Hose, I think, because Hose has been a police officer for the past 32 years, I think. So probably he's done some few things that Kininda is aware of and said, okay, when you are going to retire, whether you like it or not, or I arrest you for what I have on you. And then, of course, Gideon, because you are, listen to Gideon, people. Listen to Gideon. This man is terrified. The man is terrified. The way he speaks, the way he delivers his presentation, and the cross-examination kind of like showed that this man, yeah, he's nervous. There was a point where he was very patronizing towards Advocate Mngomezulu, and he was also patronizing towards Mr. Ramusipile, but he realized that I'm being patronizing and I could get caught with my attitude that all of this is a fabrication, and suddenly he softened himself. I don't know, maybe somebody gave him a sign like, whoa, you are being obvious now. You are being obvious. Now, I want to go back to Stain. Why did Stain, how old is Stain, number one, and why did he have to retire? That's what I want to know. Because early this week, when we heard about this Gideon person, I thought to myself, no, man, Gideon is brought so that every time when hardcore questions are asked, he will say, I cannot testify on behalf of. That's what I thought the whole purpose was. And he's doing it. He's doing it. He'll be like, no, I can't testify on this particular whatnot. Oh, I can't testify on this behalf of, on behalf of so and so. And yet you the one understand, you the one who wrote an affidavit, and now you're being questioned on the affidavit that you wrote, and now suddenly you cannot respond or answer to somebody else's job? Is that the reason why Stan had to retire? And another thing that I couldn't understand about these abstracts of information or data from these cell phones and true callers and whatnot, are all of this within the law, by the way? Was a true caller is part and parcel of criminal identification and things of that nature? I don't know. This will be the first time I'm hearing about this. Has anybody been convicted out of a true caller before? Is there a precedent or authority, whatever it's called, that says that true caller had actually got somebody convicted of a crime? I would like to know those things. I don't know anything about true callers and how it works. I think I do have it in my phone, but I never used it. If I get a call, in fact, me, as you guys already know, I'm a recluse. The only numbers I have in my phone, it's nine cell phone numbers on my contacts. 9, only 9. So whenever somebody calls, I know who this is. If I see a number that I don't know, I do not answer, period. So I don't have to use Truecaller, so I don't know how it works. So now, the question that Mr. Mngomezulu was asking, they were quite relevant, and they made a perfect sense, because the question I was asking him, how did you know, or how do you link this cell phone or cell phone number to accused number 1, or even accused number 2? How did you do that? And then accused number 2 is like, no, when I was arrested for the first time, they did not take my cell phone. But you have data that his cell phone was seized and a picture of him was taken on the first arrest, and then he was also arrested for the second time. And this whole thing is not making sense, people. Even Holmes himself is tangled, and now he's trying his level best to rely on what's on the table, what is on the on the document. That's what he was doing, because he realized that, okay, no, let me just defend myself by just saying, no, it's according to, by the way, it is indeed second-hand information. That is tantamount to hearsay. When yourself, as a police officer who is sitting there on the stand, in the witness box, where did you involve yourself in this, and where can you speak to on what you are telling the court that you did? And most importantly, how all these cell phone numbers and this cell phone data, where is the tangibility of what these conversations were about? But my question is more like, because I still think this is planted evidence. We'll come to the planted evidence, because Judge Ratha was like throwing some shade at some of us. But anyway, we'll get to that. So I still think this is planted evidence because I want to know how long the phone calls were. Okay, let's start with Dan's cell phone. He says that his cell phones were seized when he got arrested on the 16th of June, right? 2020. And he's never seen his cell phone ever since. But now this cell phone is making calls in 2021 and is connected to all the accused and blah, 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 and all that stuff. Now, I want to know for how long did this call last? If this calls lasted seconds, it's clear that it's the police who said, okay, you're going to take this cell phone, you're going to take that cell phone, and you're going to take that cell phone, and we are going to make calls to this particular phone number. Why? Because they want to expose that the accused, all 5 accused, know each other. That is what they're trying to do here, to expose that they know each other. And definitely, since they know each other, they commissioned the killing of Senzo Meyiwa in 2014. And yet, none of these calls speak anything about the 26th of October 2014. How are all these numbers linked to that event of 2014, October 26th, is what I want to know. And none of these witnesses that take the stand can actually say, yeah, it's true. We can actually pinpoint this number that called on this particular day, on the 26th of October 2014, in the commission of killing Senzo Meyiwa. They can't. So that is why I feel like if these so-called calls were about a few seconds long, this was just to register so that they have this document now that Gideon is talking about. Because Gideon was not even there when that document was compiled. He said, I was handed over. I was asked after Mr. Steyn had to retire. If you think I'm lying, listen to this clip and we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Your full names and surname, please.
Gideon Gous.
Just before we get your affidavit, can you just explain how you come into the picture at this point of the proceedings?
I was analyst at the PCMC in Gauteng for quite a few years. And then after Colonel Steyn was retired, he had to retire on 60, he had to leave the force. Brigadier Kanina contacted me and he asked me to help him with some analysis of cell phones.
So did you hear where he said he had to be retired? And he does not say this once, but twice. Had to be retired and had to leave the force. Who pushed him is what I want to know. How old is Steyn? Is it 65 and above? Or is it the case of Mr. Yaka, who was retired at 55 as well, I think? That's just my opinion. Again, I am asking what I asked when Steyn took the stand. What were the conversations on those cell phone links? You can't just say, yeah, this cell phone was linked to this cell phone and he called this cell phone. And what was the conversation? That's what I want to, that is the crux of the matter. Because when I am going to call somebody, I'm not just going to keep quiet. We're going to have a conversation, right? What is in that conversation is what I want to know. And where's the link between the killing of Senzo Meyiwa and the cell phones? Where is it? Now let's get to the sarcastic comment by Judge Ratha, who says something about planted evidence. Yeah, they say he was so annoyed. Did you see the hatred in his face when he did that or when he said that? I was like, sir, you listen to our videos, because I have not heard it being said on the news. I'm talking about the mainstream media. It's been said mostly by YouTubers, and very few YouTubers. I'm one of those who are like, that evidence is planted, because that's my opinion. When you listen to these witnesses, you're like, but this does not make sense. This is planted evidence. So, Mr. Ratha, since you listen to our videos, I want to say something in my own opinion. Sir, number one, I think you are presiding over an unfair trial. Secondly, I think you are entertaining the wrong docket. 636 is not what you should be entertaining, because those men that stand before you are innocent of killing Senzo Meyiwa. Case or cast at 375 is definitely the one that you should be entertaining in this particular court. Why? Because these people that are in 375 were the people that were with Senzo Meyiwa on the 26th of October 2014. One of them killed Senzo Meyiwa, and all of them know who that person that killed Senzo Meyiwa. Third thing that I would like to challenge you to do is listen to Longo Twala's interview with Metro FM in 2018 and make your own judgment about the truth that's spread out by Longo Twala. And then kind of like link that and ask yourself a question: am I presiding over a legitimate trial? I can tell you, no, you're not. No, sir, you're not. Lastly, if you have a good conscience, in your good conscience, you will realize that you've been misled if you are misled. However, though, if you are part and parcel of this charade, sir, shame on you. So the last thing that I want to talk about was Advocate Ngome Zulu's, when he began his cross-examination with Mr. Holmes, he wanted to know about his qualifications, like to kind of like explain some few things about these qualifications. So me, you know what I always do, like, you know, we hear words and we hear words and we hear words, and we never really check what these words mean, even though we understand what they mean, but we don't really look at the definition of these particular words. So he did these courses for 2 weeks and this course for another 2 weeks to get a certificate, not a diploma or a degree. And in my mind, I kept asking myself, what is the meaning of an expert? So then, of course, I went down the rabbit hole, and it said a person who is very knowledgeable about or skillful in a particular area, an expert in health care, meaning you ought to have gone to tertiary institution and gotten yourself a degree, and therefore you are now an expert in that particular field. Now, I was like, okay, then how long does it take for a person to be pronounced an expert? I don't know who's Gladwell, but according to Gladwell, a person could become an expert in nearly any field as long as they were willing to devote the requisite 10,000 hours to studying and practicing the subject or skill. 10,000 hours. What is 10,000 hours in years? So according to Google, 10,000 hours is about 11 and a half calendar years. But here, a person, it goes there for 2 weeks, comes back with a certificate, and now they're an expert. Now, the court needs to consider this. It has to put this into consideration, that people that take short courses for less than 4 years, there is no way they can be called an expert. I am so sorry. If you are an expert and you've been doing this, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to belittle you or anything like that, but we are dealing with people's lives here. We're dealing with people's constitutional rights, freedom, and also to your good name. Okay, fine, I get it that some of these men have done heinous crimes and they're serving long sentences for the crimes that they've committed, and I support that 100%. If you commit a crime in South Africa, especially if it's a heinous crime, you deserve to rot in prison, period. But there are some with good names that they have to defend. For example, Ntanzi. Ntanzi has never been arrested for anything in his life before. No court cases were pending against him, even though Dinida came and said, yeah, he has a lot of cases against him. So that is all that I'm trying to say here. I'm not belittling anybody. I apologize if you feel belittled at all. That's not my intention. My intention is more with the police force. These people deal with our lives. These people deal with our freedoms or lack thereof. So there is no way that we can say a person who's been to a short course for 2 weeks and got a certificate and then comes back and say they're an expert. No, you're not an expert. You just happen to know some few things about these things. No, go to university, get a degree, and then practice for the next 11 years. Then we'll say you're an expert. Right? But anyways, cross-examination shall continue tomorrow with Ramasipili continuing to cross-examine Mr. Rose. tomorrow when the Senzo Mayweather murder trial resumes in the morning. Hopefully, we are going to get to the bottom of this lie that we are being told. Fabrication, basically. This is the whole thing, Mr. Ratha. This case we are presiding over is a fabrication, sir. And I think you know that. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, give it a like. If you didn't like the video, give it a like. Anyways, do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to click the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everybody that's super thanking the channel. Cynthia, thank you so much for the $20. I highly appreciate it. Also, leave me a comment down below and don't forget to click the bell notification, guys, once you have subscribed. Because I see people say, I don't get notification. That's because you did not go and click. There's a bell next to the subscribe button. The moment you press subscribe, there's this bell that's going to pop. Click on it and then click all. Once you click all, that means every time I upload a video, you are going to get notified. So other than that, guys, do share this video far and wide. I'll see you next time with a new video. Now, let's go to YouTube meeting. And I'm talking there. Goodbye.